talk show. I know how you get, so don't be too rough on them. Love you and good luck. Bye.
Welcome to the Raw Perspective with your host, the incomparable Uncle Laze, aka Laze Elliott, aka Lazy Laze from the world famous, kicking it with you in topics about music, culture, and now for your host, the legendary Uncle Laze.
Hey yo,
What's up, y'all?
oh man,
You look sideways.
Let them know what this
yeah,
all about. Come on, man. Information.
that's what we do.
We let you know what this.
We let you know what it's about. We get information. Woo, it's your boy Uncle Lace to the Raw Perspective. Shout out to my OSG family. Shout out to my MOP First family. Where is Dr. D Nice? I don't know where she is. I'm hoping that she gets in here. But this is the Raw Perspective. There she goes. She always makes it on time. Like a good Jamaican Oman. Yes. This is the Raw Perspective. This is your boy Uncle Lace. Shouts to Simone and Nicholas. So the 8:00 edition tonight. We have an 8:00 show tonight. Normally we don't have an 8:00 show. It just turned out that we have an 8:00 show tonight because at 6:00 we were enjoying and celebrating the birthday of the Queen Lioness herself from OSG, my sister Simone A. Nicholas. Let's give her a little round of applause there, Simone A. Nicholas. Shout out to my OSG family. Yes. It was a great time. It was a beautiful time. Welcome to the Friday Raw, the Raw Perspective. As everybody knows, we come on every Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. And then we do a Friday show at either 6 p.m. But on the third Friday of every month, we move it around a little bit because we do the Lion's Den, and Uncle Laze is the co-host of the Lion's Den as well. And also I do the Sunday Inspirational at 9 a.m. on Sunday after Pastor Leo Colon. And after last week's show, I don't know if he's going to ever come back on my show again. You don't even. Well, let me bring my crew in. Let me bring my crew in. First and foremost, host of the Fresh Start Focus on iHeartRadio, WDRB Media. My sister. We have plus. Sometimes you can have a family, and sometimes you can choose your family. She is definitely chosen. My sister from another Mr. Tanya, Hazelhurst Dawkins. What's up, sis? How you doing? We love you. We love you, sis. We love you.
Love you too.
Oh, sis. How's your week been going, sis?
I've been hanging in there, not that everybody has to know, but we're going through a little family crisis, but
yes.
COVID.
Yes.
But we holding on to our faith, and I'm just putting my trust in God, and that's
as always. That's what you do. You put your trust in God, and you know what? That's all we can do. You know what it is. And also, before we get into that, let me just make sure we get the room addressed properly. I want to shout out my sister. She's came onto the show a couple months ago, and she's in her stride. She has become a part of the Raw Perspective family, just like she's a part of the OSG family. Shout out to my sister, another woman from the island of Jamaica originally, but she's a doctor, a real doctor. Dr. D Nice, Bonjour. What's up, Doc?
What's up, Laze? I'm so sorry I missed Simone's birthday party, but I have
probably out there saving lives, operating on people or something crazy like that.
I every 2 months I run a weight loss class for teens, and we had our class today. So
yes. So you do body hacking, right? The body hacking class?
Exactly.
Yes. But listen, so my next guest,
Nikki,
who's been here before, we're gonna there you go. Before we bring you out, we want to bring the queen in with all her glory, the relationship expert herself, and she's done the Raw Perspective. So we're so glad to have her back. She's a member of the family. Nicole Renee Pryor, how you doing, sis? Good to see you.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
You're looking great. I didn't see you until just now. You're looking awesome. How you feeling?
I'm feeling wonderful.
Yes. You look wonderful. That's beautiful to have you here today. Oh man, it's just so amazing to have so many beautiful, powerful women on the Raw Perspective, and also part of my OSG family. Like I said, I want to shout out my sister Simone Nicholas, because you know what, that queen is really, you really, I got to give it to the ladies, because the ladies are really going to pull this thing together. They're going to pull this thing together. Shout out to the mayor of Atlanta, Georgia, Keisha Lance Bottom. She's doing her, she is really stepping up and doing her job. And, you know, I mean, you see what's going on. You ladies are going to shout out to Kamala Harris as Vice President of the United States. I mean, this is what it is. These women, the women of color, are going to organize us, because sometimes I got to admit, as strong as us men, as smart as we think we are, we have to admit that we have no idea what we're talking about. We're goofy. We're goofy. I say that. I say that. Well, let me tell you why I say that. I say that because I want to get to my first subject today. I want to talk about, because I don't want to start on the bad news. All right. I don't want to start. I was going to talk about what happened in Atlanta with this crazy boy. I do not, by the way, Renee, we do not speak names of serial killers, you know, we don't even speak their names anymore into the universe. We want those names to go away. But the deed that he pulled off in Atlanta at those massage parlors, shout out to the Asian community. They came here. They're doing some work. The Korean people, they're just a quiet people, minding their own business, doing what they do. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the story. He shot up 2 massage parlors in Atlanta, and was on his way to Florida to do another one. So I'm saying, obviously. So let's hope that the justice finds this boy. And even with the sheriff of the local sheriff said he had a bad day. I was like, really? Is that what you call a bad day? A massacre is now a bad day. But we're not going to get into any racial equivalency here. We just want to talk about the deed. And it brings me, it just brings me into where we are when it comes to the relationships between men and women, and how far apart we are, and understanding each other. It takes, even in my life, this is why, one of the reasons why I really wanted to bring, not because of that story, but I wanted to bring Sister Nicole here today because she's a relationship expert. So now I'm a man of a certain age, still kind of like a boy in a sense. And I just think that sometimes you women have to sort of direct us into understanding how these relationships work. Now, when I say that, I'm talking about the governor of New York City. He's about 7, 8 women have come out now accusing him of sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, uncomfortability, whatever they've accused the governor of. They want him to step down. In his mind, he believes that he didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. What are you talking about? It's okay for a 65-year-old man to ask a 22-year-old woman to play strip poker on a private plane when I'm the governor of the United States. It's okay for that to happen. So I want to just start this round table off with some really strong women. And I'm going to go to TD Lovin first because, Tanya, I know you have feelings about these different subjects. And I want to be specific to Cuomo and what he did, because for some reason, there's a lot of guys in that age bracket that say, I don't know what he was doing wrong. He was just talking to the girl. This is what the guy may have been saying. How do you see this, that particular subject, TD?
You know, it's a very slippery slope. And right. I really don't, I do like Governor Cuomo as a governor. I'm originally from New York City. I need more facts about what exactly happened. I'm listening to everything. He's saying he didn't do anything wrong. They have 7 people who are coming forward who are saying, I did a little research on him. So he was married to a Kennedy.
Right.
For, I forgot how many years. And then he was with the lady from the cooking channel, the Food Network. Right. Kelly, somebody or the other, and he was with her for 14 years. So he's been single now 6 years, for quite some time.
Yeah, but what makes a 63-year-old man feel that it's in a man of power, in a power position? Mm-hmm. What makes a 63-year-old man in a power position feel that it's appropriate to manhandle or sort of, make sexual advances or improper advances toward women that are, 20, 30, 40 years younger than him. Dr. D. Nice, any news, any feelings on that, Dr. D. Nice?
No, honestly, I'm going to have to kind of go along with Tanya. I just need some facts about that. And I know that for both, I'm trying to be as PC as possible.
No, listen, I don't mind you being PC, but I want to know how you feel, because as a man,
I really would like to see more facts. I don't like to see people judged in the court of public opinion. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, and right now in our society, public opinion sways towards, if a woman says anything, she is correct and the man must be crucified. And I don't really fully agree with that. Amazing. Public opinion is public opinion. They don't have the facts. So I'd rather for this to play out in a real court than in the court of public opinion.
So Nicole.
And I have to say this, when it comes to, Andrew Cuomo is a very sought after bachelor, even at his age. And I am not defending him because I don't know what exactly he did. I don't know exactly what he said. Now, if you're asking me generally about sexual harassment I'm
asking you generally and specific, because we're going to go through this, because we're just going to start this conversation on something light, but we're going to get heavier into this topic.
Light.
But I want to use this light. This is a light top part of the topic. I want to ease us into this.
Because like what Dr. D. Nice said, there are men who are behind prison bars because people accuse them of things that they did not do, or what they may have said was misinterpreted. Women, we are not, I'm a woman, we are not guilt-free from not handling things appropriately either. So I want to say that. So that's why I said it's a slippery slope. Now, as far as sexual harassment on your job, flat out sexual harassment, inappropriate language, inappropriate touching, how do I feel about it? It's absolutely unacceptable. Now, he is a single man, and where do people meet people that they're going to date? On their job, right? And a lot of people meet people on their job. Now, should he take advantage of the fact that he has all these women around him working, and as a governor, if he should have wanted to be more careful, because you don't want any scandal as a political figure. But he might have said hello, like hi sweetie, or good morning, or something like that. I mean, does that constitute sexual harassment? If it bothers the woman and she says, listen, I don't appreciate you addressing me in that manner, and he doesn't do it again, I don't consider that harassment. He could have just been being friendly, because sometimes women mistake friendly for an advancement. That's just true. And I have two other women here, they could chime in, but sometimes we misinterpret.
All right, Tanya. Oh, hold on just 1 second, please. And I don't want to stop you here, because I get your point. But I want to go over and talk to Nicole Renee, because as a relationship expert, I think she can understand a lot of different realities in this conversation. One, the micro infractions, the defenseless, and the powerlessness of women. And listen, I'm hovering above this subject because I am not equipped. I'm not a woman. I'm not equipped. I don't understand everything. So I'm coming to you guys for an understanding on how this works, because a lot of us get in trouble. For instance, like I was watching a show called The Office. You remember the show called The Office? You remember the show The Office? I was just yelling at my dog, sorry. And in The Office, Michael Scott, this was the beloved show, The Office. It's such a beloved show, The Office. Oh, it was great. #1 show at NBC for almost 15 years. The first 6 years, for the most part, all he did was sexually harass his receptionist. And we thought it was cool back then. I don't even understand. Like now looking back, if they tried to put that same show on the air today, it would get run off the air. Nicole?
Yes.
I need some help here, sis. I need you to talk to me. Nicole Renee Bryant, I need you to talk to me, sis. Help me out here, because my two starch loving Jamaican capos here, they're playing it real neutral. They're like, hey, we need the facts. We ain't gonna just jump in here like this.
So let's deal with the facts. Let's deal with what he was charged with or accused of, I should say.
Right.
His aide, his executive assistant, basically said that she sat in the office with him alone, and he requested for her to turn off her dictation. And he proceeded to tell her that he was lonely and he was tired and he was looking for a girlfriend and he needed her help in that area. He also proceeded, according to her, allegedly, that has she ever been with an older man? Was she comfortable being intimate? Because apparently she had some sexual trauma in her past. I'm not sure why he was aware of that, but he wanted to know if she was sensitive and becoming intimate. He also wanted to let her know that he was okay with being with individuals that were above 22 years of age, and she is 25 years old.
Right.
So, you know, he wanted to know, did age matter? So, you know, when you're talking about conversations like this, that is sexual harassment. That is not misinterpreted. That is not, no, that's straight. Let's get to the point.
Now, let me get on the other side. Put a pin there, please, Nicole. I need you to put a pin in that, and only because, and not to cut off what you're saying, because what you're saying is so powerful. I just want to put a pin there because I want to jump on the other side. Hey, man, I'm just a guy. She's an attractive woman. I mean, I'm single. I don't. What do you mean microaggressions? What do you mean imposing my power position? Hey, when women like me, I've been in situations where women like you. They come and they touch you. They do things. They flirt with you. I've been in clubs where where women may touch you in inappropriate places. Excuse me, young man. Thank you very much. This is not your conversation. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Hello. He just walked in the village. This guy's. Well, Dad. But the point I'm making, I'm playing just like I played the advocate with Tanya and Dr. D Nice in your conversation. I'm playing the advocate. I'm saying, hey, I didn't know that. I thought you wanted to come here tonight to my hotel room and take your clothes off and be a part of whatever I was going on. And I didn't know that that I was doing something wrong. What's happening here? Am I out of my mind here, Nicole?
Well, in a corporate environment, sexual harassment training takes place. And from what I understand, he conducted a sexual harassment training at his place of business, but he chose to not participate. So you have to understand that in a work environment, if you give somebody a polite compliment, that's not sexual harassment. If you ask someone on a date or out to dinner, that's not sexual harassment. It becomes sexual harassment when it's unwelcomed.
Now we're moving into, because now I have to be delicate how I deal with this, because obviously what I find, and there was statistics that I was reading that there, and I don't want to say the exact number and get it wrong, but they're saying that the majority of women were sexually exploited, mistreated, or violated in some way, form, or fashion. I think it was something like 75 to 80% of women in their life, in some way, form, or fashion, was sexually harassed, violated. So this is a very sensitive subject when we start to have this discussion. So, and being a person, when I took on this subject, and Tanya, we have conversations about subjects that are sometimes can be racy, and we always discuss, like, should I take this subject on? Today I didn't call Tanya and ask her opinion. Today, because
You just jump in.
I didn't do that today because I felt that I needed to educate. We need to educate our young men as well as our young women, and we need to educate each other a little bit, because I do believe that there is such a divide in the understanding of it. And as we get older, like you have these organizations like the Me Too and all these other things. And I think there's got to be a way that we can have this situation where we don't need to have those organizations. I think if we educate our children a certain kind of way, then maybe we can teach women. Obviously, things like rape and all the other stuff, those things happen. But now with education and now with everybody having knowledge of it, we can maybe sort of help deal with that, because I know there are a lot of women that go through this. It affects their whole life. Not like what I find, and I'm speaking out of turn in a sense, because I'm gonna need y'all to help me out here. But I find that the scars that happen at a young age, a woman being mistreated sexually and all the, like shout out to Dr. Riley, who did a whole show on sexual trauma. Those scars sort of make up the personality in some ways, good or bad, whatever, because we are all a byproduct of who we are and what we've been and where we're going. You know what I'm saying? But they affect our lives in a certain way. So I need some help here. Dr. D. Nice, from a medical side, help me out. Help me out here.
Do you have a question or?
Yeah, I have a question, but I need you sort of to sort of expound on what I'm saying. I need you to sort of give me an off ramp here. Like, am I wrong by saying that this is affecting the lives of women all over the world? Am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're not wrong in saying that at all. That even in my practice, when a lot of people that have chronic medical illnesses, there is some underlying trauma that they experience that make them ill-equipped to take care of their bodies, ill-equipped to make good, healthy decisions just because of some trauma that they've experienced. And not to belittle what happens with women, because the percentage of women that get traumatized sexually is high, but young boys, young men too, also experience sexual trauma. So we can't
a whole nother show, Dr. D-Nice. A whole nother show. Right now we focus on. We're going to get to the brothers, but I want to focus on the ladies right now. I want to focus on the ladies.
Definitely medically, there is a lot of people that end up with other health problems just solely based on trauma that they've experienced when they were young. And more since we're talking about sexual trauma, specifically sexual trauma.
Right. TD, talk to me. Give me the off ramp. Help me out here. Help your brother. He dumb. He don't know nothing. He's a fool. Help me out here. Help me out.
I had a show some months back in October of last year. Don McPherson, he's a retired NFL player. He went to college with me at Syracuse. He played there as well. And he wrote a book called Throw Like a Girl. Throw Like a Girl. And it's a book about males being aware of how to treat females. And the very thing that we're talking about, he wrote this book about it, Throw Like a Girl. And it's about men not being equipped how to relate to women in a loving, caring, and responsible way, because most boys just grow up whatever they see around them, if they have a father. And let's just face it, we have women's rights in the United States, but think about around the world where women are treated like, forget second-class citizens, third-class citizens.
Well, women are still getting stoned in some places. That women are still getting stoned in some places.
And seen as just dispensable human beings that are just there to really cook, clean, and fulfill men's sexual needs, and like they are not a human being themselves.
In some countries, women are not allowed to drive. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Today, not allowed to drive.
That's right.
Well, okay. Yeah. Well, so let's go to let's go to Nicole. Nicole, and this is something that really sort of I deal with and mentally. I'm really trying to understand because I do believe that the trauma that women suffer as young women, they suffer these traumas. It affects the relationships going forward in life. Could
Absolutely.
we not do that, please? Thank you. It affects their relationships going forward in life. How do they wind out of that ball? How do they meet the man of their lives? They meet the guy that their husband. He's a beautiful guy. How do they not transfer that trauma from those sexual indiscretions and those problems that they had where they were being?
They have to address
Go ahead, Renee. I'm sorry.
it as a lot of times when you don't address your issues, those childhood traumas, they will show up in your relationship.
Right.
And, carrying childhood wounds is never good. You
Right.
gotta, to me, I always suggest that they go to a therapist to deal with those wounds, to address it so that they can be able to look at that from a different perspective. Because a lot of people are walking around bound. And when you are walking around bound, you're not really able to give your love authentically to your partner. Because if you can't, love and honor and respect who you are, how can you give from an empty place? And what happens if you find a man that loves you authentically to the core, you will reject him because when you don't know love, you can't identify it and you will reject what you don't understand. So it is imperative that people heal, that they go to the right resources to heal themselves so that they can be productive, loving individuals.
And well, now the question is, what is the path to healing? Not just therapy, but what is the path to healing? How do we start that healing path?
Well, when it comes to self-love, because you got to get past all those wounds and there's a journey. That's why therapists have been placed here to have people peel back those layers and find out what exactly occurred during that trauma so that they can kind of get around that and look at it from a different perspective. It's not something that happens overnight. It's not a few sessions and it requires work. I tell people all the time, if you're going to go to see a coach or you're going to go for therapy, the best thing you can do for yourself is to be honest, to be open, to be transparent, because otherwise you are wasting their time and you're wasting your time.
It's like sweeping trash under a rug and then coming back 20 years later and the trash is still there, but it's even more toxic. Yeah,
Yep.
I get that. TD, so let me add something to this little pie that we're putting together here, this little relationship pie. A lot of men are raised in single parent homes. They don't have fathers in their homes. So they don't have the balance of the mother and father, or let's say in the two parent adults. And not now that I've learned as I've gotten older, I don't judge people. So whatever the two parent, like sometimes it's hard to get everything from one parent. The parent, you need that balance in your life. Dr. D Nice, your husband, you're raising your boys. There are things that your husband can't do that you do, and there are things that you do that the husband can, what I'm saying? So TD, how much does that have an effect on the relationship, especially with young girls?
I think children are affected when either parent is not there. If you're in a single parent home and you have only your mother and without your father, this girl is going to look for somebody to affirm her, even if it is negative affirmation. That's why you see a lot of women, they're in domestic violence relationships. Either they either saw it with their parents, if their parents were together, and this is how they feel they should be treated, or because they didn't have a male figure in their life that loved them, that adored them, that accepted them, they'll go out and get with guys who will take advantage of that fact and mistreat them and abuse them. And in some cases, as we know, they're even killed by these people because they were desperate for that male figure. Listen, whether people want to admit it or not, we both have male and female energies in our lives. Right. A mother and a father You need a mother and a father to have a child. There's a reason why you have to have an egg and a sperm. There's a balance, you know, with male and female. And any child, whether it be a girl or even a boy that is lacking either parent, it is going to affect the child. And I am not saying that people should stay in relationships or marriages that are abusive. No.
Yeah, because now we're stepping into a whole scenario, because toxicity is toxicity. And at the end of the day, is it better? Is it good to be in a toxic relationship if it's not benefiting the child? Or how do you resolve this process? You know, we don't stone them anymore. We don't beat women with rocks anymore. You know, you know, we can't do that. That's not supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
But what I'm saying, the ideal, I'm speaking of the ideal and then bringing it back to the reality. The ideal situation is that children have a mother and a father to raise them, because we need that balance. We're just created that way. And and you know what? No offense if other people may not feel that way. Nothing against same-sex marriages or partners if you have two dads or two moms, but somebody has a male energy and a female.
The raw perspective is your perspective, Tanya. So we don't judge anybody's perspective. That's the great thing about having free and open conversation. We don't sit there like somebody said to me the other day. I don't have the keys. I think you said that to me, D-Nice. You said, I don't have the keys to heaven for you, so I can't tell you how to get there.
Right. But I'm saying generally you need that balance of male and female energy in a child's life, because that creates a balance. And like I said, if it's missing for either for a boy or a girl, there's going to be issues, period, end of story. And if you are in a toxic situation, you have to remove yourself. It would be good to look for a mentor for the child. That if it's a boy, he doesn't know how to be a man from a woman. You got an uncle, a grandfather, a mentor, somebody that could pour that male energy and male perspective in that boy's life, hopefully a positive one, because they're going to need that. Same thing with a girl. If a girl doesn't have a mother, I know women whose mothers died when they were in their tween years, and I am telling you, it has affected them tremendously.
Right. There's no connection between a mother and a child. Like the bond between a mother and a daughter is literally the most powerful bond that I've ever seen in the history. Like, even as dads, we grow up. What I find as a father is that when their kids are below 10, they're like, Dad, we love Dad, right? When they get into their teens, they like, we don't like Dad anymore, right? Because Dad becomes the disciplinarian. Like, I am the disciplinarian in my home. But then when they get into their 20s and 30s, they start to get older. They start to repeat things that I may have said to them as children. They're like, yeah, my dad said this. I find myself, when I'm looking for wisdom, I cycle back to my father. And I go, yeah, this is what my father said at that point. And it makes sense to me now. You know what I'm saying? But in those years, mom is the standard. She is like the earth that's holding it down. Now, Dr. D-Nice, let me get to you here, because now I have a medical question.
Sure, ask away.
Based on what Tanya had just said, and I know you're not a neurologist, okay? But I know you have some understanding of the neurological setup and makeup and chromosomes and all that other wacky medical terminology, okay? How much is that affecting the child, not having that balance of male and female input on their psyche? How much does that affect the child, that balance?
This is a purely opinion. I don't know. You could just adding to what Tanya says, the same thing. You can see where it just affects behavior. You have young men that just out there running wild. You have young women that out there running wild, just trying to figure it out on their own. And sometimes they end up with the right answer. I mean, who wants to have a crapshoot on your life? Wouldn't it be better if you have some guidance? And unfortunately, what happens is, if you really look at popular society, what the influences are is popular music, popular culture. And those are the things that's guiding you when you have no guide. And unfortunately, those things are not really guiding. They're not a good guide. They're not guiding
well,
you.
they're taking from you. They're taking your attention, but they're not a good guide. Let's go to
Yeah, exactly. And
Nicole,
so you end up with poor decision making. I mean, honestly, as a teen, you're gonna make some bad decisions already. Let's just be honest. It's just the nature of growing or moving from childhood to adulthood. You're gonna make bad decisions. But when you have no guide, you make bad decisions that end up with bad health outcomes. You end up with teen pregnancies, and younger you are, the mortality that's associated with teen pregnancies is high. The health outcomes, the outcomes of pregnancy is not as good when you're younger, when you're underdeveloped. So many other, I mean, it just wraps itself around so much when you just don't have somebody guiding you.
Sort of a snowball falling down the hill, just picking up more and more crap as it goes down the hill. Is that what you're saying? Let me go to Nicole Renee prior. Nicole, let me ask you this question. In you're a relationship expert, so you sort of understand how it works. Now, I gotta deal with what Tanya said, because what you said was very powerful.
It was very powerful.
Very powerful. In your endeavors, do you find that to be reality, what Tanya's saying, that those relationships that don't have that solid male-female balance in that relationship, do you find that some relationships that has an impact, or the lack of, on those relationships? Do you find
Absolutely. I agree with Tanya 1000%. And you will find that a lot of young ladies who do not have a good, solid relationship with their dad, they're challenged in relationships with men. When you have men that do not have a good relationship with their mother, they're challenged with relationships with women. So there's a pattern there. And just because you have two parents in the home, which I do believe you do need as a sense of balance, but you can have two parents in the home that are present, but yet absent, because they are not engaging with their children. They're there physically, but they're not there emotionally. They've checked out. They're emotionally unavailable. And so, just because you have two parents in a home, if they're not engaging with their children, then it's almost like I said, they're present yet absent.
Allowing the kids to go and cave, because a lot of kids nowadays, especially with COVID, they cave themselves. They go in and they cave themselves. So sometimes you almost have to go in there and dig them out of the cave a little bit. Like, hey, man, come on out there, come on. Or make them go, my trick is I make my sons do chores. That's the trick I use. I go, hey, boy, it's time to go take the garbage out. I make them go out and take the garbage out. Yes, sir. Hey, boy, listen, come on out here and just clean this sink. I need to wash all of this. It's something that, I'm using a tool. It's like I have a dog. Sometimes a dog will be hyper-focused on one thing. I'm like, and I'll move his head in another direction, because I want to just get him off that. Because sometimes kids can bury themselves in a cave. And I've been finding that, especially during COVID, where with this virtual learning and people living on their computers, the kids are burying themselves in caves. So, so you add that to not having a balanced relationship, men and women impacting on the child.
And you know what I wanted to say, Laze, about the relationships. But somebody asked my husband and I advice about marriage. It's a newly married couple, and my husband said it, and I said agreed. The greatest thing you could ever do for your partner is to work on yourself. See, everybody comes into relationship with trauma, with childhood issues. We all have stuff that we have to work on. But if the two people work on themselves, they will have something even greater to offer to their children, because children don't do what you say, they do what you do. They watch your behavior and they repeat it. So if you work on becoming the best version of yourself, each partner individually, it will benefit the relationship you have with each other, and that will trickle down to the children. We need some kind of training and education. Young men need to know how to be men. I mean, not watching TV, not getting ideas. I'm talking about solid human beings. We need training, and women need the same thing, how to be a lady, how to conduct yourself. And some people may not agree with this, is my personal opinion, but children need guidance on how to be, how to exist. But sometimes their own parents don't know how to be themselves. So if we take the time to look at the man in the mirror, like Michael Jackson said, it's really true. We each have to look at ourselves and say, how can I grow? How can I become a better person?
Absolutely.
Not just for yourself, but for your kids, the kids that are watching you. And that is such a blessing, to be able to take stock of who you are and be able to work on that therapy, whatever you have to do to make it happen, because somebody's watching you that's depending on you becoming the best version of yourself. Not perfection. There's no perfection in this life, but if you can work on you, it's going to impact your children and your relationship.
Okay, so I have an exercise here. Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask Nicole, based on what Tanya said, I wanted to ask Nicole if she's seen this. There's a girl I watch on YouTube, and she says that we reach for relationships that remind us more of the parent that we had the least connection to. Is that, at least we're, in summary, kind of like you're going after somebody else that kind of reminds you of that parent that you had issues with.
It's like that void.
Almost trying to repair that relationship through somebody else. Have you?
No, you do. You do see that. You definitely do see that. And Tanya is very on point tonight in reference to that, about putting the work in, because that's the problem. We don't have high quality men, and we don't have high value women walking around here. And so, and it's due to the fact that we have childhood wounds. Yes.
Let the woman speak. Let the woman speak.
And it's due to the point that we haven't really dealt with ourselves.
High quality men and high value women. That is a powerful statement, what you're saying. Because it comes from in here. Absolutely. You have to feel yourself being valuable as a person.
Absolutely.
And if you do not feel value in yourself, if people say that they say, Laze, you're arrogant, you're cocky kind of guy, you walk with your chest up sometimes. I've always done that. I've done that since I was a 7-8-year-old boy. I did it because I saw my father do it. And I walked like my father. My whole life was to say, I want to walk like my father. Now, ultimately, as I became a teenager, our relationship kind of changed, and I became some crazy dude in the streets, and my mother, whatever. We had things, but then I got back to know my father as he became, it started to get older, and he was getting to a point where he was about to pass away, and I started to value and really go back to the times when all I wanted to do was walk like my father. And that became me. And that became how it shaped me as a man. And my father would walk. If anybody who knows me, I have this really weird slewy walk, and then my chest is always up. And everybody who knows Laze, I'm bouncing, and it's hard for me to hide if I'm happy or sad. If I'm happy, I'm cheesing and I'm bouncing. But it was just how my father walked. And I was so enamored with my father. And I find that when we miss that, which goes back to our earlier subject, we misrepresent our relationship with women because we don't have that guide as a man. We don't know. My father always said, walk on this side of a woman, hold the door for a woman. Just that, he was always into me, teaching me. I find now in relationships that guys don't give a shit about none of that shit. They don't care about anything. It's hard to find guys.
But a lot of times,
not just the guys.
A lot of times it's a reflection of them.
Huh?
Go ahead.
A lot of times it's a reflection of them.
Right.
And also, I had a discussion with somebody in the DMs this week on Instagram. Now the girls don't even want it. They don't want men to treat them kindly and nicely. They want men to treat them like, okay, you're just one of the guys. They think it's almost sexist and toxically masculine to treat a woman kind and loving and walk on this side of the road and pay for the meal or those kind of things. A lot of women now, I won't say a lot, but there are a group of women now that are insulted by those things.
Nicole, am I a dinosaur? Because I am everything that what you just described. I'm the guy that I won't let a woman go in her purse and pay for a meal if I'm in a restaurant, whether even if she's at our table. No, I got it. Am I a dinosaur? Is my day over? Is that what we're saying?
It's unfortunate that you have a lot of women that like to refer to themselves as alpha women, as though, they're the boss and they just want to, secure the bag, so to speak. So the mindset has changed. And unfortunately, I always try to tell people, those young ladies that are more interested in a man being a certain height and making sure that he has 6 to 7 figures and securing the bag, that listen, just because he makes that money does not mean that he's going to do right by you. And so I need for these women to look at the character of the man and stop looking at his wallet, because just because he makes that money does not mean that he's going to do right by you. And you will find yourself emotionally bankrupt when it's all said and done, because that comes at a cost.
Have we lost a generation, Tanya? Is this generation taught? Because what I find now, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with a woman being sexy, but what I find now is that TikTok got women going, I heard my butt getting big. I said my gut. I heard my gut. And they, are we lost? Are we gone?
Our value system in this country, and I can only speak as a Black person. In the Black community, our value system, our value and self-worth as women and men have really gone to the dumps. It's the truth. We walk around with no self-value and no self-worth. It's very evident in our music, what you see on TV, these videos, Instagram. I have seen more women's behinds, and I'm not trying to look at no women, and in my life, I mean, this is unprecedented what I am seeing. But what Nicole said is so profound. When you get yourself involved with somebody, married, a relationship, you are marrying their character. You are marrying or dating their character, not their personality, not their public persona, the character. Because when the
not the Instagram picture. Not the Instagram picture.
No,
exactly.
No, not the Instagram picture, the character of the person. So when you're in a situation, it could be financial, it could be about honesty, or it could be about whatever it is. You can come across situations with this other person. Their personality is not going to handle the situation. Their character is.
That's right.
You are dealing with a person's character. And unfortunately, we have come to a day and age where people don't care about character. Character means nothing to them. But at the end of the day, all of the problems that they end up having is because of the character of the other person.
Do you find in your, Nicole, in your travels of coaching and talking to people about relationships, do you find that character being one of the biggest problems in relationships that you're dealing with?
Oh, definitely character, because here's the thing. If you don't know your self-worth, it's going to be very difficult for you to even identify a person of value. It's like invitation, just everyone is invited when you don't know your self-worth.
Like you're in a relationship with I'm like, baby, you don't even know who I am. You don't even know what I am. You have to know. How would you know? Yeah, I get the point.
Yeah.
I get that.
You open yourself up to anything and everything. When you are not grounded in maturity and you are not, you don't know your self-worth.
So now let's go into a social and cultural and racial conversation, because I think what this goes back a little bit to the destruction of the Black family. And it's hard to build a family when society is bent on destroying the Black family. They've been doing this for hundreds of years, the destruction of the Black family. The question is, how do we repair the Black family? Because obviously we cannot move forward as a people unless we repair the Black family. How do we not make those mistakes inappropriately courting women and not knowing when she's saying no. Because when is no no? Who knows what no is now? Because nowadays it's even different. Before it was like no, but kinda, in my mind, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But nowadays the women are like, no, excuse me, I need you to come over here and do, and just deal with me and now get out, How do we deal with that? We've lost a generation. How are we going to fix that? Because now we've lost the art of love. Love is gone in relationship. Love. Talk to me, D Nice. Talk to me, Doc.
I mean, honestly, I really think it's popular culture. Popular culture is ruining a whole generation. And the thing is, you can watch it from generation to generation. It targets young people. And with each generation, we lose a little bit. And then the popular culture gets a little worse, and it's targeted to young people, and we lose something else.
So we glorify a stripper, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong if you have to go, and that's the only way that's how you love to expose your body, and you love the art of dancing and all that stuff, and you want to go a place to get paid for it. But now we saying, as we normalize that, we have normalized the stripper in our society.
We've not even normalized it. You have young women feeling that this is a career. This is a career path. That's what they're going to do with their life. You have
doctor, lawyer, stripper. Is that what we're saying?
Being thugs on the street is a career path.
Doctor, lawyer, stripper.
Yes, exactly. I mean, honestly, that's one of the options now that people look at, and they find that they think it is okay. And I mean. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, no. I see the exhaustion, but now let's add that into the mix here, because now we're trying to. This is my exercise. I'm trying to repair a relationship, Nicole. Now this is what we're doing. How do you fix this mess here? Because you got two lumps of clay walking into your office. They're saying, "How do you help us?" Because he's a thug. He didn't have a mama. He didn't have a daddy. I'm sorry, he was raised by his mama. He's been in jail twice, so he can't really get a good job in his life. He's not gonna make no money. I've been touched as a little baby girl, and by my uncle, and I'm dealing with that now. And I've gone through situations, and then because of that, I got pregnant at a young age. I got a little girl now. I'm traumatized out of that because I love my daughter, but I've been traumatized because she came out through some sort of weird, weird sexual situation. And now they get together and try to make a relationship that's toxic. Man, you got a job. How do you fix that? Come on, Nicole. Come on, make some magic.
First of all, let's go back. Okay. I think our society, the media, we need to fast from social media, from television, from certain things, because that's what's raising our children a lot of the times. And so they become very influenced. The reason why they hear no, and these men think that they can still move forward is from the movies, because a woman said no and they kept going, and then they were passionately making love. So now they think, oh yeah,
Pepe Le Pew, right?
Yeah, that wasn't really no. So a lot of times we have these false images that we're looking to for guidance, and that's not it. Like Tanya said earlier, the best thing a man and a woman can do for themselves is do the self-work. I mean, it's so rewarding, but it's work.
Yeah, it's work.
It's
work. And it's work to change a society. Men have to be taught, they do, how to interact with women, and women need to be able to interact with them, because sometimes women will say no, but they really don't mean it. No, girls have to be taught that when you say no, you stand firm with your no. Not no, I'm gonna think about it. No is no. And men need to know, you know what? When I'm dealing with a young lady, I have to show respect. I have to conduct myself a certain way. And truthfully, that really would come from a man of high, what is it you say, Nicole?
A high quality man.
A high quality man needs to teach men how to behave in a high quality manner.
But we're not glorifying high quality people. We've now, like, think about what's happening in the hood. We're glorifying killers in the hood because of their record, and we're glorifying women who are,
who don't know their worth.
Right, don't know their worth. And we're glorifying these people.
I'll say if these people want to get together, they're going to have to figure out their worth and do the work. If they, I mean, because in the end, so despite all of this, people still crave relationship. They still crave that connection, that deep connection with another human being. They still crave it. And but also they don't take that step to realize that you really going to have to dig and uncover some of those things that will set you up to not behave in a way that's loving to this person that you love and you want to be in your life. You're going to
guys, our community needs resources.
Draw them to you.
We need resources because these kids are not going to find that by themselves. You know what I'm saying? That cake ain't going to bake itself.
The resources have been provided through people that are called therapists, through people that have organizations that are geared towards this, coaches, counselors. Those are the resources. There's an assignment that I give people, those that really don't know how to embrace self-love. And I said, it's simple. Make a list of all the things that you love about yourself. And then make a list of all the things that you don't. And everything that you don't love about yourself, whatever you can change, do it. And the things that you can't change, find something in that you appreciate about yourself, that you love about yourself, that you can actually look at that and say, you know what? I love that. Because I explained this. I had a burn, like a 2nd-degree burn in the kitchen, and I had grease marks all over my leg, and I had scars. So when I looked in the mirror, I didn't like those scars, but then I learned to appreciate them. They became scars of gratitude because I'm still here today. And so now I can embrace everything about me, the good, the bad, and indifferent. And when you can really love yourself from the core authentically, you'll be amazed on how you can appreciate, love, and respect and honor someone else. But if you're not there, you can't do it.
Based on what you said, Nicole, that was so powerful when you say to write down the things that you like and write down the things that you don't like and try to change them. Because there's some people are out there thinking that they are just stuck. This is it. Yeah. This is who I am. This is where I am. That's how my mama was. That's how my daddy was. And this is how I have to be. Not realizing that you can pivot on that. These are not things that, you have to do some work to get there. You have to talk to people like you, Nicole, talk to therapists, work through things. But these are things that you can change.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Be willing to change. And Nicole, let me ask you a question. Well, how can we find you? I got a feeling that as we roll through this journey, a lot of people are starting to understand that they need to talk to more people like you, especially in relationships. How can we find you to talk about these things? How can we hire Nicole?
Well, I'm on Instagram at I am Coach Nicole Renee.
Yeah.
I am also on Facebook at Nicole Renee Pryor. I can be reached. I have a podcast, I have a YouTube, and or they can email me at IAM@CoachNicoleRenee.com.
And where can we find your podcast?
It is on Spotify and it's on Apple, and
Nice.
It's called Coach Nicole Renee.
Coach Nicole Renee. Everybody follow Coach Nicole Renee. It's beautiful. I mean, listen, I picked a very complicated subject. And I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to have a discussion. You guys know the raw perspective. I joke, I play, we go politics, we talk over, we have different discussions. But today I wanted to talk about this because I do believe that in order for our community to move forward, in order for us to be successful on this planet, it starts with the family, and we have to bring the family together. The family has to be made whole, because without the family being made whole, then we will always have these problems in society where we don't have anybody to protect us. Because if anything goes wrong, you can always count on your family to get your back. All right. TD11, what we doing, sis? iHeart, DRB, talk to me. What's happening tomorrow? Press Start Focus.
Well, I had a tough week, going through this situation with my family. So I am repeating tomorrow, and it's an excellent show. I hope people bring pens and paper. Let's talk about vitamin D. I really talk about the benefits of vitamin D, how to identify if you have vitamin D deficiency, and what you can do to boost the vitamin D in your body, just so people know. They said almost between 80 and 90% of the COVID patients who unfortunately perished have had low vitamin D. Vitamin D is every day your immunity. And, apart from getting out in the sun, there's supplements that you can take, there's food that you can eat. And if you come and tune in tomorrow, bring a pen and a paper, and you can learn all about that to help you out in this, this pandemic that we're going through. And so that's what I'm up to for tomorrow. Next week will be a brand new show.
Dr. D Nice, can I get, this week on the OSG, you left us, you cut out. You didn't give us that food that we needed. We had such a great meeting this week on Thursday. By the way, you guys are all invited Thursday to our OSG meetup. Please look at the official OSG on IG and get it. Please come. This is food for your soul. Shout out to Easy Breezy, Dennis McKeezy, and my whole entire OSG family. And just really just come through. Trust me, we touch on so many great things, and we play music. It's just a great day, a great time. Dr. D Nice, you didn't give it away this week. What do we got? What do we have?
Of course, I'll give you a health tip. And I'm still sticking to this spring season. Everybody's trying to get their summer body ready. And as we're doing our exercising, I do want to make sure we don't forget the resistant training. Don't forget weight training. Don't forget some sort of resistance.
Ooh, you're talking right in my alley now. Come on.
Hey. Oh yeah, I do. Yes, I see you in the weight room. Yes.
That's what I'm doing now. Double nickels. So I gotta get it in, do my thing, Do
your thing. It's super important. It really helps with raising our metabolism. It helps with our muscle tone. It gives shape to our body. It gives support to our body and our posture. Don't forget that, including that in your workout. And it could be something as simple as just doing some push-ups at home. Push-ups is a great strengthening exercise because it involves your core, it involves your upper body, if you're doing it correctly. It involves your legs and your glutes. It's really a good all-around good strength training exercise. Throw some squats in there and you're pretty much hit all the major muscle groups in your body.
Well, listen, as you know, I have a little military background, so, push-ups are no problem for me, but the squats really get on my nerves because as you get a little older, I don't like doing them squats, but I gotta get through them. So what else is going on with you, Dr. D9?
Nothing, I won't say nothing. I just started my teen weight loss class today. Yesterday was our first day. That's why I missed our OSG meeting. And today, that's why I was so excited that you moved our raw perspective to 8 because I wrapped up the class and was able to hop in on this one. It's our.
I aim to please.
Thank you. We'll be going for the next 5 weeks. I run this course every 2 months, so the next one will be open for students in May. If anyone wants to register, they can always find me on Instagram or wisdomteedinger.com to sign up for the class.
Listen, I want to shout out my boy Ray Abrams, who wasn't here tonight. He needs to do some resistance training so he can have a little more energy in the evenings. I want to thank Nicole Renee Pryor. Listen, follow her on IG and all of our social media. Listen, Nicole, you are part of the show. You are welcome, and you are family of the show. Please, we talk about, tonight's subject was a little heavy, but I wanted to touch it because I think that if we don't talk about these things, even if they're unpleasant, we should talk about these unpleasant things. That's the only way you can get out that infection. You got to go in there and dig it out, right? Yeah, dig it out, right, doctor? That's how you get rid of those infections. You go in there and dig it out.
I had to IND, we call it an abscess this week too, so.
Yeah, there you go. Get that out. Get it out of here. TD Loving, you know already, sister. You know, I love you. Thank you. You are my counsel. You are my sister. You are my heart and soul. Thank you so much for being here. Come see me on Sunday, the Inspirational Raw Perspective at 9 a.m. right after Pastor Leo Colon. Shout to my OSG family, my MOP family. This your boy, Uncle Laze. See you next week, 6 o'clock in the morning to every 7 o'clock, the morning emails. Man, we got a lot going on, don't we? Let's keep it going. The OSG family every Thursday. Oh, man. And the Lions Den. Shout to my sister, Nicole.
Thank
Nicole,
you.
For doing her thing.
Thank you so much.
It's been great. All right. I love you guys. Have a great evening. God bless you and be safe. And listen, it's all about the family.
Yes, I cry. Yes, I